Tournament, Stanford Steve, and I don't want to hold you accountable for somebody else's opinion, but I'm just gonna filter it through you. Ken Palm had a piece a week ago that basically asked the question, why aren't we talking about the SEC being overrated? And basically his point is that a team that exceeds the expectations the way they have is just due for regression. Are you aligned with that train of thought? What do you think we see from the SEC in the postseason?
I think it's anything but overrated. I mean, watching it night in and night out. I mean, the guys had Coach Oates on after his game Saturday at Auburn. You look at that 7-game stretch and what the teams they played, and then like you look back and how things went. You know, they get beat at the buzzer by Tennessee, neck and neck with Florida. Florida runs them the second half. I think it's loaded. Again, this is what just happens, though, and this is a test. But I think we need more out of the committee because we cannot have conference rematches in the second round. I don't care if you got to move people down seed lines. It's just not fair. And I remember, I don't know if Jarrell's on that team, but I remember like Marquette played Cincinnati in the second round one year when both teams were in the Big East. It was terrible. Both teams were great. And I just – like I said, move the seed lines. Just avoid that. I understand when you're gonna. Jeff's talking about 14. If Texas can do it, it's the all-time record for sure. But we got to be able to space it out. But again, it's another challenge that the committee's going to probably have to work Saturday and Sunday, which the last couple of years it seems like they haven't. They just shut the doors on Friday night. So I hope they put in the extra time and go the extra length. So we at least get that because we want it as fans. As much as hell, the coaches and the players want that.
Yeah, no question about it. I'm excited. I'm going up to Nashville on Friday, making the drive up from Memphis. I don't even want to talk about how much I spent to do it, but at least I'm watching Florida and Bama, so I'm excited about that piece of it. Jarrell, who's going to have the best week? I don't mean who's going to win it. I don't mean who's going to win the SEC tournament, although maybe those answers are the same. But who do you think when this SEC tournament is all said and done, we're going to be saying they helped themselves the most this week?
I think when you put it that way, John, you kind of got to go first toward the bubble teams and or the teams that are just kind of eking their way into the NCAA tournament. And if I had to guess right now, and and this is just a shot in the dark, I would probably say Arkansas, a team like Arkansas, which
Yep.
I think if they win two games, it helps them tremendously as far as just not only just making sure that they're in, but even maybe boosting their seeding a little bit. But they got a number of teams that are right there as well too. Goodman talked about it a little bit earlier, just with Texas. Like Texas is they're kind of in win or go home mode right away, right out of the gate. So there'll obviously be a ton of teams that are just a part of that bubble bath of the SEC on the back end of the conference that can really help themselves, man. But I think more than anything, I'll say this as well too, John, just about the SEC. Really good conference. I do not think it's overrated, but once you get to those last couple of teams in the conference, um, I think they got some really like they really benefited out of the strength of schedule and how great some of the other mid to level and top end teams are. Like when I think about it, like I don't know how good Oklahoma is. We obviously seen Arkansas struggle, but I still know that they got the talent. But I don't know how good Vandy is, and I'm not even sure if Texas deserves to be in. So, I think they really benefited from having, a huge conference with a lot of really good teams in it as well.
Yeah, I agree. I mean, I think that the top is just, I mean, top three, right, and maybe four if you guys want to include Tennessee in there. I suppose we could do that. I mean, they did beat Alabama. Jeff Goodman, how do you beat Florida? How do you do it?
Slow them down, keep them off the glass, right? You got to get back in transition.
Yeah,
And
yeah, you're right.
you
You're
got
right.
to
That is how
fight
you
them
do
on
it.
the glass
How do you do
because,
that?
yeah, it's not easy. I mean, I think certain teams obviously match up better. I mean, you thought Auburn did, but Auburn split against them. Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think Florida is probably as complete a team as there is in the country, right? They're
doubt.
3 or 4 guards. When you add Aberdeen in there, probably as good a quartet as there is. And then you put their front court that doesn't necessarily look the part, but you got Hangloton back, and Alex Condon is phenomenal. Like, as good of a forward as there probably is. He doesn't look the part, but he's a ferocious rebounder. He can score in the post. He can step out and make mid-range shots. I just really, if you look at what Todd Golden and his staff did putting together this team, I think they did as good a job as anybody in the country of saying, like, let's get these pieces that fit together.
Mm.
Yeah. Stanford Steve, if you had to pick a team in this league, I don't have the prices in front of me right now.
Texas A&M 25-1.
Yeah, that's
wow.
pretty good.
Look at
I
us.
like that one too.
This is our first time working together.
I mean, like Jarrell
just
just
knew where
talked
I was
about,
going.
the teams. I was looking at the middle. Like, I always try and look for a long shot in the top of the bracket, in the bottom of the bracket. Butler is so important to Kentucky because they're not great defensively, but he's a great guy on the ball that gives them a chance. But I feel like they're beat up, and they're going to do well outside the conference when we get to NCAAs. But A&M is an absolute pain in the ass to play. They're going to get the Texas Vanderbilt winner. I just look at the price. You avoid Florida and Alabama, who's on the bottom of the bracket. You got Tennessee. You know what that game is going to be all about. You limit Tennessee on the perimeter. You'll be all right. And I just take my chances with A&M. I mean, he made the run last year. Nobody saw that coming, and they were scoring like they scored 90. I think they scored 92 games in a row, and then just ran out of gas against Auburn in the final. But they took out all the teams on the way. So A&M is the ultimate. I mean, 25-1. I'll take that all day.
Yeah, put that in your windshield. Go down, drive 9 interstate. Right? Let's kind of see where you end up. It'll be a fun ride. Real quick before we go to break,